Today I decided to share with you my collection of OilPerfumery fragrances. OilPerfumery, if you're not familiar, is a clone house, which means that they make copies of designer and niche fragrances that are already on the market. Clone houses are great if you know there's a certain fragrance that you like a lot and you wanted to make it stronger when you're wearing it. You could buy an oil version of that fragrance by one of these clone houses and layer it to make it project more, make it last longer. These are also great if you wanted to try a very expensive fragrance out before actually committing to buying the real bottle by the real company. So those are a few reasons why somebody might decide to buy from one of these companies. Yes, so there's a lot of them out there. OilPerfumery, some of them are really good. I find myself feeling like most of them are just like okay. They're not incredible, they're just okay. And then a few of them that I've purchased, and all of these that I'm showing you right here, this is all the ones that I have. Some of them are just, I don't think that they're good at all. Maybe they don't smell like the original thing, or they actually just smell bad. So I think I'm missing a few here, and I'll discuss them, I guess, at the end. But let's get right into it. Okay, so, oh yeah, so I have them separated into 3 different sections. The section on the left of the lime is the ones that I reach for the most, if I do decide to wear these. The ones, yeah, on the left of the lime, I reach for the most and I enjoy wearing. The ones in the middle, I like, but I don't really reach for that much. And then the ones on the right of the lime, the ones on the right of the orange are the fragrances that I don't like. But I'm gonna start with the ones that I wear the most often. So we have Bleu de Chanel here. And this one I find, and by the way, I'm just gonna get through these pretty briefly. I'm not gonna go on and on about it, but Bleu de Chanel, based off of the Eau de Toilette, I find this one to be very accurate to the original, and I do enjoy wearing it. It's very pleasant. It's that, bitter grapefruit kind of smell with the incense. It smells, like the original fragrance. So I don't even know if it's important for me to really get into notes and everything like that, because you could just go on Fragrantica or Parfumo or Base Notes and look that up on your own to decide if it is something that you would be interested in. But yeah, this is a good one. And I actually like to layer this with the next one, which is the Bleu de Chanel Parfum. This one here is sweeter than Bleu de Chanel, the EDT version. This one has the tonka, and it has another note in there. Let me try to remember. It has pineapple. I don't smell the pineapple here, and even with the real thing, I never really picked up pineapple, but it does have a little bit of a powdery, sweeter vibe to it. A lot of people like to wear the Parfum at night and then the EDT version in the daytime. I think they're both suitable for either situation, but layered together, they work out great, and I do enjoy wearing these, and I find them to be accurate to the actual fragrance. Okay, So let's put it back there. Okay, so the next one is Oud Minerale from Tom Ford. And this fragrance, you don't really hear people talk about much. It's kind of like under the radar. But I was looking for and I still am, I'm looking for my kind of aquatic, something that isn't too piercing and cloying and too synthetic maybe. Something that's just kind of like salty and refreshing, like a nice upscale shower gel kind of fragrance. So that's why I decided to pick this one up. I've never smelled the original. I actually have a sample of the original coming in the mail because I am considering buying a full bottle of that. So Oud Minerale, this one, I'm gonna take a smell. It smells good. Yeah, I'm sure that helps you a lot. I don't really know what to say about Oud Minerale. I'm getting the saltiness, and has a bit of that, has oud in it. I'm getting a little bit of oud, but it's definitely not, and even despite the name, it's not an oud dominant fragrance. So with this fragrance, it's weird because it's like I have a feeling that I'd really like the original version from Tom Ford. With this oil though, it has something about it. And sometimes you come across this with oil fragrances, in particular from this company. This has happened to me several times where it's like the oil has some sort of undertaste to it, some sort of, I don't know how to describe it, but it's, other than to say it's kind of like somewhat of like a sweet undertaste to the fragrance. And I don't know how that happens. And I'm picking that up with this one, unfortunately. And I don't think this is supposed to have any sort of sweetness to it. So basically I can tell that it's an aquatic fragrance and it smells good, but it has some sort of weird undertaste to it that I don't really like. Also, it doesn't project a whole lot. It wears pretty close to the skin. When I wear these, I will put them on maybe my neck bone, on the nape of my neck, and I'll, lightly swab it or roll it over like the bottom hem of my shirt, my shoulders, whatever. I do find that these oils, by the way, work better on clothing, and I don't think you're supposed to do that, but that's what I do. And even on clothing, this doesn't really jump out a whole lot. So I do wear it, but I'm more excited to see what the original one smells like. I'm very excited to smell that. This one, it's all right, and you do get an aquaticness out of it, but it's not amazing. I don't even know why I wear it so much. I got it recently, so I think I'm just trying to, feel it out and wear it as much as I can to get a good opinion. So that was Oud Minerale. Yeah. Okay. The next one we have is Accord Oud from Byredo. Take a sniff here. Okay. I've tried this one in the past, the original fragrance, and I cannot remember what that smells like. And I bought this before I tried the original. This one is a very nice oud fragrance to wear. If you're not necessarily an oud fan, or somebody who, there's different kinds of oud out there, and I guess the really high quality one is very intense, and I think people call it, they like relate it to poop, the more niche, intense version of oud. And for a lot of people, that's not what they like. This one is very simple, clean oud fragrance. And I do like to wear this on its own, and I do layer it with other fragrances sometimes if I just want to add a little bit of something extra where I feel like oud would complement that fragrance. So if you do like to have kind of like a basic oud for layering, this one would be great. And it does smell really good on its own too. Yeah, it's really nice. It has sort of that mentholated oud fragrance to it. Very easy. So, Accord Oud by Byredo is good in my opinion. The next one we have is Eau de Rhubarbe Ecarlate from Hermes. This one, okay, so this fragrance is a rhubarb scent, and it has red berries and musk. I think it's just has 3 notes listed for it. And I love the original. I'm huge into Hermes, so I love the original fragrance. This one, very close to that. It has a bit of that. Remember when I was talking about Oud Minerale, and I was talking about how it has the weird kind of sweet undertaste to it? I can sense that a bit with this one too. It has somewhat of a weird sweetness in the lying in there somewhere. For this one, maybe it's more appropriate because it is like a fruity fragrance, and Oud Minerale is not. It's not too distracting, but it's very pleasant. If you like rhubarb, this definitely smells like rhubarb. It doesn't smell cheap. If you like the original, I think you would enjoy this one as well, especially since the original is an eau de cologne strength, I believe. So this would be nice to layer with that. I will say that I've tried a few other clones of Eau de Rhubarbe Ecarlate, and my favorite is actually from Arabian Perfume Oil. Their version of this fragrance I like more because that one is greener. It has more of like a I don't like a zesty greenness underlying it that I find so addicting. It's kind of like that tanginess that comes from a fruit that isn't fully ripe yet, but it's juicy at the same time. So this one is good, but I prefer the Arabian Perfume Oil version more than this.